Thank you, Mr. Tuimon. Now we are in the last part of our uh, conference. It will be reading of the resolution, the joint resolution by our Rohingya brother, Prince of Arakan.
Sorry. Assalamualaikum everyone. My name is Muhammad Rahman Imam Hussein, better known as Prince, Arakan Prince. So before I begin, I would like to invite everybody to take a moment of silence to remember all those innocent souls who has been lost on this journey. Thank you. Thank you very much. It's sad, right? It's really sad that this is the day, August 25th is the only time that most of us, get curious who are the Rohingyas? Why are they killed? What happened to them? All these questions, the question marks, comes generally most of the time on that day. And here we are, standing, reminding, remembering, and also recalling those moments. I am the offspring of genocide survivor. My parents have gone through the worst of the worst, of course, but I have been lucky enough to stand over here to represent our people, to represent those who've been through the worst. And I would like to say thank you for those who are here today. And let me get into this. Guided by values of our faith and tradition and principles of the Charter of the United Nations, the Universal Declaration of Human Rights, and international human rights and humanitarian law, recalling the United Nations General Assembly Resolution 79/278 of 25th March 2025, which outlines the scope and objectives of the high-level conference on the situation of the Rohingya Muslims and other minorities in Myanmar. Reiterating, I'm sorry. Reiterating that the atrocities committed against the Rohingya people, beginning in full force on August 25th, 2017, has been recognized as genocide and crimes against humanity by the United States government and numerous international bodies, alarmed by the ongoing violence, including recent attacks by the Arakan army, which have resulted in the further international displacement of over 75,000 of Rohingyas in 2024 alone, and a deepening humanitarian crisis, recognizing with profound gratitude the critical and compassionate role of the government and people of Bangladesh in providing refuge and sanctuary to over 1 million Rohingya fleeing genocide, expressing grave concern over the dire condition in refugee camps in Bangladesh, including severe underfunding of the humanitarian response plan, leading to cuts in food aid and the lack of access to education, adequate housing, healthcare, and livelihood opportunities, and inadequate security. Emphasizing that this resolution is the product of an intensive and exclusive consultative process with Rohingya leaders, survivors, and refugee communities worldwide, with particular efforts to incorporate the testimonies and specific demands of women and girls from the camps in Bangladesh and diaspora communities. Before I move on, I just want to apologize again. I'm taking this moment to feel. Thank you. Thank you for your patience. And yep. Operative clauses. Therefore, on this 25th day of August 2025, we, the United Representatives of the global Rohingya community, hereby resolve and demand number one, on intermediate and also immediate protection and humanitarian aid. Number one, we urge the immediate and full funding of Rohingya Humanitarian Crisis Joint Response Plan and all relevant appeals to address the critical shortages in food, medicine, and shelter for refugees in Bangladesh and internally displaced persons in Myanmar. Number two, demand that the government of Bangladesh, ASEAN, and the international community uphold the principle of non-refoulement and immediately cease all the pushbacks, detentions, and deportations of Rohingya refugees. Call for the establishment of safe humanitarian corridors and unhindered access for aid agency to all affected populations in Arakan, or better known as Rakhine State. Number two, on justice and accountability. Strongly support the ongoing investigations and the cases at the International Court of Justice, ICJ, and International Criminal Court, ICC, and call for the full cooperation of all UN member states in these proceedings. Demand the immediate arrest and persecution of all proprietors, including Senior General Min Aung Hlaing and other military leaders, as well as leaders of Arakan Army, responsible for recent atrocities. Call for the establishment for the International Truth Commission and Rohingya Tribunal to document the full extent of the genocide and provide a platform for survivors' testimony. Number three, on citizenship, right, and self-determination. Demand the full, unconditional restoration of full citizenship and all associated rights for Rohingya people through the repeal of the 1982 citizenship law and all other discriminatory legislation. Affirm the right to self-determination and call for guaranteed autonomous government and governance and meaningful political representation for the Rohingya in any future federal democratic system in Myanmar. Reject all attempts to erase Rohingya faiths, identity, history, heritage, background, and demand international recognition of the Rohingya as indigenous ethnic group of Arakan. And last but not least, on voluntary, safe, dignified, and sustainable repatriation. Declare that any return of the Rohingya refugees must be voluntary, safe, dignified, and sustainable, based upon informed consent and conducted under the supervision of UNHCR and other international bodies. Demand that the refugees be allowed to return to their original lands and villages, not to a closed camps with no guarantees of safety, mobility, and the right to rebuild their livelihoods. Call for the immediate deployment of a robust international civilian protection presence, including UN-mandated forces, to Arakan to establish the protection presence safe corridors or zone, monitor security, protect returnees, and investigate human rights abuse. Insist on comprehensive program of repatriation and compensation for victims for the loss of life, property, and livelihood. And let me end with this. a call to action for the upcoming UN high-level conference, which is going to be on September 30th, 2025. In line with GA Resolution 79/278, we call upon the participants of the high-level conference to move forward rhetoric and transform these demands into a concrete, time-bound action plan. We expect the adoption of a strong subsequent UNGA resolution with clear reinforcement and enforcement mechanism, pledges for full funding of pledges for full funding of humanitarian needs and repatriation programs, concrete commitments to support all international justice mechanisms, a firm plan to establish an international protect presence in Arakan. The Rohingya people have waited for 8 long years for justice and return to their homeland with dignity and rights. This is the time. The time for performative concern is over. We demand action. Nothing but action. Adopted unanimously this day in accordance to Rohingya Genocide Remembrance Day, which is on August 25th, 2025, at the United Nations Church Center, New York City, in solemn remembrance of the victims and steadfast pursuit of justice for the living. May God bless their souls. And please pray for us. And please get our Rohingya people, the justice that have been long overdue. Thank you so much. My name is Prince, Arakan Prince Salwin.